Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Reacts, where today we got ourselves a track from an act named Sequre, titled If I Could Just Let It Go. And if we switch over to here, I got ourselves a track on the screen here on SoundCloud. We got the art up on the page like that. We're gonna listen through this track from start till finish, and we're gonna hear what we think. Let's do it, let's go, what do we got? The atmosphere of this synth is kind of cool.
And everything I'm doing shouting my love. And I don't got the time to play these games with your heart. And all I'm asking nowadays is for your trust. But why it seems so hard to you, it never makes no sense. And you know nowadays, girl, yeah, you got me in my head. Paint me as the problem, but somehow you the victim in the end. I don't want no problems, only wanted all your love instead. You can't leave my side, my baby, you gon' have me till the end. I ain't never settled, I should tell me why you been out the way, disassociated my boo. Cause I've been trying to get to you in your head and your temple, cause I feel so misled. I'm trying to just figure out, I'm trying to make sense.
So insecure.
Everything that I'll never know, yeah. And questions in my mind, gotta let them go. The past is the past, bitch, you gotta let it go. It ain't healthy for yourself or eating at your soul. And what I'm saying, y'all, yeah, you know, y'all. I can start a way to show you what I'm really on. When I'm locked in like I am right now, then you gon' know, yeah. And all of these
That 808, that bass is crazy, dude.
how I pull up when I'm late switch. And what you know, you say you want something, take it. I gave my love, yeah, what more is you saving? Ain't had enough of you, my shawty, I can take this. I'm in my head, don't give a fuck, it's forsaken. It's like a curse, ain't having love, I can take this. So tell me what is it that you want, baby, just save it. I'm posted up smoking biscotti, I've been all day. Your new state of mind, I've been reaching too often. I ain't said a lot, tell me what you really want. I'm out the package, baby, yeah, I'm too nauseous.
And that's it, right? I did actually quite like that track. I think I understand what the song is about. I'm just letting it play out till the end. It's kind of poignant having this little gap here, eh? All right. We're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Sequre, titled If I Could Just Let It Go. In this section, we're going to provide an overall song analysis of everything from lyrics and vocals all the way through to studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally, my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But first of all, what do we think this track is about? I think this track is about someone who is discussing the interpersonal relationship they have with their girl that they're into. There's this infatuation, this attraction that they have. But there's also this difficulty there where they're trying to sort of understand each other. He's trying to sort of figure out where they're at. And I think you just get to the point where they're kind of having a rough time with it, you know, and for lack of a better word, and effectively they're getting to the point where they're disassociating from it, and effectively they just wish they could let it go. They just wish they could kind of separate themselves from this thing that they're kind of tied to. I think that's something that people will be able to relate to, definitively. I think there's an audience for this kind of music there. It's this type of subject matter that I've heard recently with music, especially in the hip hop and rap genre, like the more contemporary stuff especially. I think vocally, it's this kind of stylization to the sort of like rapped parts there, where it's kind of more of a sort of a spoken conversation. It's like a melody to it. There's like tuning on it to kind of make it more sort of synthetic. I think to allow it to sort of sit a bit more neatly with the 808s and those kind of ambient sort of pads that go oscillate inwards and outwards. But I feel like the freeform expression of it, combined with both the ability to kind of keep cadence with the beat when required, and then also kind of going away from it when we want to be a little bit more sort of like I think that's totally fine. It's by no means predictable, and I feel like most of the words come through clearly. And I just think in terms of how we express ourselves on the microphone, I feel that overall, you understand the difficulty that they're going through, like how it's kind of affecting them there in a way that seems authentic. The track itself, I would assume to be 2 minutes, roughly, not including the extended outro at the end there, is based on the premise of having not only the vocals on top as a competent lead, but then you also have that boom, boom, that kind of synth pad that comes in and out, and that's a very sort of like chill atmosphere within the piece there. It's very sort of low-key, lo-fi, and you can kind of sit there and kind of vibe along with that. It's very pleasant and palatable. The 808 when it comes in is ferocious. There's such an abominable low end to it. It's very kind of like overwhelming. But what I do appreciate about this track is that it's easy to sort of decipher why it's there. It's just such a nice sort of compliment to those pads there, as well as the vocals, which are filtered in a way where they do not interact with the 808 at all. Everything's sort of niched within the frequency spectrum quite well. But then also, it's just that the drums aren't super punchy. You have these kind of tippy-tap kind of kicks and snares and clicks and cymbals and stuff like that, which kind of glitch and glitter all over this track with a mixture of quarters, eighths, and 16th note rhythmic patterns there. And it's just such a nice contrast to the whole tone, the whole notes of the 808s and stuff like that, There's almost a hypnotic procession with the pads going in and out like that. I think also having the 808s kind of perform their rhythmic and sort of melodic function there is an absolute ground floor for the track, with again the drums coming in on top and sort of like decorating almost as like an alt lead there. It's really good. So there is a sense of sort of like variety within the rhythm section. The track isn't overcomplicated in terms of its actual instrumental makeup, and you just have this very sort of like low-key part within the middle of the track there structurally, where you have different verses and choruses, or it could even be through composed. Like regardless, it's a journey. It's a monologue from Sequre, and you sit there appreciating that point where it goes down a little bit for a moment of sort of solace before we go into that final round and we're done. And it's just done effectively when it gets to the end there. Ultimately, I feel like there's enough there to make the most of the 2 minutes. There's no filler in there. I mean, sounds the 40 seconds or so at the end there where there's not much going on, although that again could have been deliberate just to allow more time for the listener to sort of ponder what's being discussed there. And ultimately, thematically, it's like a very kind of chill major, but I feel like it's like a seventh, that it's an extension in there, and it's definitively melancholic. It's not trying to sort of even suggest that we're in a happy position here. Maybe we were grateful for having this person in our life at some point, but ultimately most of it is simply more sort of like resolute in terms of the kind of discussing and dissecting the situation that we're in, or the situationship. Ultimately, I think the bouncing between those two chord progressions is effective. I sit here thinking that just with the studio recording, mixing and mastering, I feel like that was done quite well too. I think the vocals were stylized and performed in a way where it was authentic for the genre. The basses, pads and drums and others, like there was a lady vocalist with the You're Insecure or something like, or So Insecure part there, which was a nice sort of call and response or foil to Secure's vocals. And things were typically leveled quite well. There were no like weird resonant frequencies in the frequency spectrum aside from the bass, which was absolutely resonant, but that was clearly on purpose. The percussion, where applicable, was sidechained quite neatly without being too blunt. Oh, to be fair, I think the 808 was a kick, wasn't it? So that makes total sense. I was just having a think about it, and the kick was more bass than kick, but like clearly, they work well with each other. Builds in the low end of the frequency spectrum well. Nice and loud, pumping, bus compression, limiting is handled. No applicable constructive critique for me. Personally, from a general final listener's perspective, again, it's interesting music. I find this relative sense of minimalism to be quite interesting, because there's a lot of music nowadays where it is quite busy and occasionally overproduced. I think that there's a space for this kind of music. It'll just be interesting to see how Sequre continues to produce music and how they continue to sort of present themselves and tell their story. But I wish them all the best in future with their musical endeavors, and thank you very much for watching my review of this track from Sequre. Told it if I could just let you go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and the SoundCloud page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.